What is up, nerds, gamers, amateur movie critics? I'm all those things, and that is why you are here watching Burke the Nerd. And today, I am joined by the one and only Stormbreaker, who we are so lucky to have back on. It's been a while since we've seen him, but it's nice to have him.
A long time.
What is up, man? And we also have a bunch of people in the chat today. We got Mike Porter, we got Maverick Pilgrim, we got the Captain's Log. What is up, everyone? Apparently, which Stormy, this is just by the way, we're going to be talking Shang-Chi. We're going to be talking all about this movie, what we're expecting from the film, how we expect it to perform, and also with the social media review embargo dropping tonight, with the Hollywood premiere happening as we speak, we are heavily going to dive into what we expect this movie to be like, how we expect it to be received. Do we think it's going to be good or bad? We're going to dive all into that. But let's see. Apparently, Mike Porter just said that there is an end credit scene that was leaked that apparently Mike shared on Twitter. I am not going to talk about that today. I'm kind of don't want to spoil that for myself. I'm sure it probably will end up getting spoiled for me. Stormy will probably Google it midstream. He's already fighting the urge. We're going to hear the audio playing over his like, oh, wait, sorry, you were saying something?
I mean, I hear
like Nick
I'm
Fury talking
now,
through.
I can't find anything.
But that's kind of crazy. But yeah, Mav, we are going to be talking some Shang-Chi discussion. Obviously, a spoiler-free discussion. We don't know really anything about the movie yet in terms of the spoiler or the review embargo has not lifted. It lifts today for the non-spoiler social media reviews. So we're going to be hearing from critics tonight about how good or bad this movie is, but they won't be diving into spoilers. They will be saying, like, this is when you hear this actor killed his performance, or the villain was so intriguing, or those types of things. So we'll be talking about what to expect tonight as well.
Really
but the premiere's happening right now.
Really quickly, before we start, I just want to say something to the chat real quick. Don't look at my hair today. Very bad hair today.
Anyone that wasn't is now looking at your hair. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Anyone that wasn't is now. It was just pictures, no scene. It was more like a meme. Oh, okay. Also, and expects if it did leak, that would be tonight that it would happen, because it would be whoever's there right now. Because people are watching the movie. The critics, I think, are watching it right now.
I mean, the guy who did that is never going to get into like a press screening again.
Ever again. Yeah. Mike Porter says it's going to be good. And by the way, if you guys have questions, throw them out as you go. We're going to just kind of approach it as we go. So to start off, before we're talking about Shang-Chi's, our expectations, our theories, all of that, let's get a bit of background. And I know you're the comic book expert on these types of characters. So do you want to break down kind of who Shang-Chi is and what we can expect from this character in live action?
All right. So Shang-Chi is like in the comics, like he's the master of kung fu. Like Shang-Chi is based off like Bruce Lee. Yeah, he's like he's like the main martial artist in the Marvel comics besides like Iron Fist. He's like the best martial artist in the comics of Marvel. He's like the best martial artist in the comics. Shang-Chi is this whole character of like, he's a son of like, in the movie they are going to make the Mandarin, like who is that?
Right.
Like in the comics, his father was like Fu Manchu. Fu Manchu is a very, very, very
problematic character.
Problematic character, yeah.
Yep.
So let's not talk about that. But what Wen Wu will do in this occasion, he's like the Mandarin, so he has the 10 rings in his possession. And for Shang-Chi's entire life, he has been trained to be like an assassin. And that's clearly not the life he wants to have. And he's living in like the shadow of his father, and his father wants him to like live up to him, but that's clearly not what Shang-Chi wants. Shang-Chi wants to be a hero. He doesn't want to be a villain. So yeah, basically everything that like Shang-Chi's story involves is basically what I just said. That's like the basic things about Shang-Chi's character.
Captain Log says, so Iron Fist versus Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi wins 9 times out of 10, right? Question mark?
I wouldn't
That's a
say
good
that.
question. I don't know.
I wouldn't say that. Look, here's the thing with Iron Fist. Iron Fist at its highest power level with him like actually having the Iron Fists, he would win from Shang-Chi, no doubt.
But we're talking like comics. Obviously, the Defenders didn't do him justice. The Iron Fist
no,
series
I know,
didn't
but
do him
like
justice,
we are talking comics in this sense.
Exactly,
you know? Like,
right.
Look, with me saying like Shang-Chi is the best martial artist, I'm just talking about like him as a martial artist.
Right.
So if him, because Shang-Chi has some powers in the comics, he can like he can duplicate himself. But I'm not taking those powers into consideration. I'm just talking about the martial arts. So if both of those characters would just use their martial arts, Shang-Chi would win. If they would use their powers, yeah, Iron Fist is pretty OP up against like Shang-Chi. So it's the half and half like situation who would win that fight.
Right. So Mike Porter saying, I hear those 10 rings will be a hero weapon like Cap's shield and Thor's hammer. Before you answer that, I also want to say something as well. We have, if you've been following our channel, you know that we do a rumor pool, a collection of rumors and theories and leaks that get put into a little questionnaire. You fill it out based on what you think is going to happen and not happen in the movie. Then at the end after the movie's happened, we have our spoiler discussion on the movie during a stream, and we go through and see how accurate you guys were in your predictions. We're going to be going through the rumor pool later today and going through all the questions, and there's a lot of those types of theory rumor questions, but one of them, and so we'll revisit it again later, one of them is kind of like Mike's question, which is the 10 rings. I think we might as well jump right into speculation while we're here. The 10 rings in the comics are these alien rings that have all these different powers, and each of them has like, they're very Infinity Stone in the MCU-esque. And so there's huge MacGuffin jewelry, right? Now, obviously, the MCU said, okay, we want to do the Mandarin. We want to bring back the 10 rings. We want to bring the character of Shang-Chi. These 10 rings cannot just be another MacGuffin piece of collectible jewelry that you have to collect them all, like Pokemon. They're like, you can't, like, so I think they just saw the writing and they're like, we're going to make this fundamentally different from the comics. Let's take some liberties with this and make it different. Do you feel like that's kind of your observation with what we've been seeing here?
So I can see it at like from two sides, in my opinion. Like I think there are two major like things that are playing into consideration with this. The first thing is that like the 10 rings in the comics, like their powers are very similar to that of the Infinity Stones. I mean, they can do other things, but basically it are like jewels that each one of them has like a different power. Like the Mandarin in the comics, he can like change like reality on a smaller scale than an Infinity Stone. With one, he can like become very strong. With one, he can shoot eyes and things like that. Now the other thing, what I think, and is still a possibility. Now we heard that he's not going to be in the movie. But look, for a human-sized man, these are arm bracelets.
Right.
But what if the villain of Fin Fang Foom, who has been rumored on multiple times to be in the movie, now a couple of weeks ago we heard that he's not going to be in here.
Right. We got the toy leak and it's the Great Protector instead, right?
I mean, not because we see the Great Protector.
Simu Liu said it, right?
I mean, yeah, but like who listens to actors these days anymore? You know?
True.
Like,
also true.
Someone like Fin Fang Foom, who is the rightful owner of the 10 rings, who the 10 rings originated from, for him, they will look like rings because like he's a big dragon, you know.
Yeah.
So I think those are like the two sides that I'm thinking of right now. Why they changed it to like arm bracelets. And always look thing, like one more thing. Actually, they look very cool as arm bracelets. So
I 100% agree. The design is so cool. There are going to be so many epic moments with those things. I cannot wait. Mr. Otter says the film is screening right now. The red carpet is starting now. The film won't start until 7 or 8. Whoops, meant not screening right now. Okay, so yeah, the movie is going to start at like 7 or 8. I was asking Mr. Otter earlier. He's our movie expert. He was saying don't expect the social media reviews to drop until about 11 or midnight tonight. So perfect kind of pre-show to discuss kind of what to expect there. And obviously we'll be getting some answers, not all, but some answers tonight. Diving deeper into that ring theory, I really, really like that. I agree. I don't think we're going to see Fin Fang Foom this movie. However, to me, a character whose journey is going to be pretty central around this power of the rings, learning more about them, learning what access he gets, what powers he gets access to through these rings and through whatever power surrounds them and empowers them. It would be really cool to have this movie center around him getting the rings from his father, inheriting them and whatever, and having his dad play like the kind of villain. Obviously, Kevin Feige came out and said earlier that the Mandarin isn't as much a villain as this is a family story of a feud between a father and son. Which first of all, I really love that idea, that concept. Blurring the lines between villain and hero has always made better movies. Without a doubt, when you do that, when you explore that line, I just feel like it always leads to a better film. So I really like hearing that. Makes me think this movie could be about him inheriting the rings from his father, and then they could easily make a sequel exploring how his father got the rings, not by following the Mandarin's background, but by having a sequel for Shang-Chi in which he has to deal with Fin Fang Foom, who has returned for the rings, and being like, hey, these were mine, your father stole them from me, I'm coming to get them back.
I have this pretty big feeling that I have a feeling that I think this movie has been confirmed to have 2 post-credit scenes. I heard something about that today.
Obviously there's the pre and post credit, right? There's the cinematic one and then the end.
I can see one post credit scene of Fin Fang Foom just not even there's a chance that we see him, but just a voice in the background I'm coming back to get my rings,
that would be
something
cool.
Like that. I mean, us comic
book
fans
an awakening, right?
Is.
Where he had been sleeping and then some use of the rings awakened him or something like that. End of the Hobbit 2, where Smaug's eye opens, that kind of scene, right? Do emulate that. That'd be kind of neat. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. I think that we will get hint towards the sequel. Oh, rough. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
Honestly, the movies weren't as good as the book, but that's what any book reader ever says about a movie. That's the only book that I can ever say something about.
I should watch them.
It's the only book that I've read through and remember. So so that's the only time I can ever say the book was better than the movie. So I have to use it because it's otherwise otherwise it's always I don't know, I've never seen the book, read the book, so I like the movie. Shang-Chi will be the first MCU film since Doctor Strange that I won't be able to see opening night. Ooh, rough. Oh, I think am I in the same boat with that? When does that come out? Does anyone know when that comes out? When does Shang-Chi actually officially premiere?
I think September the 4th. For me, September the 2nd, because I'm getting it Europe always get it 2 or 3 days earlier. So
September the 4th. So yeah, I will also not be able to see it opening night because Mr. Otter and I will be on vacation up in Maine. So that will be fun. But you know what, Mr. Otter, we can go see it. We can watch it in Philadelphia once we get back or something. That'd be cool. So yeah, definitely. I have a feeling that you might be right, making these wristbands something something of a they're rings to him, but it's either way. The design of these are just absolutely stunning to look at. I was watching this the different scenes and the different ways that the Mandarin uses them and how proficient he is with them and how they incorporate martial arts into the dynamic of the way the rings work. That's such a cool design.
You can say that these rings will be able to do amazing things when you see a scene in the trailer where like Shang-Chi is just turning into fucking Goku and just doing a Kamehameha with the rings, you know?
Yes, right.
He's throwing in he's making an Hadouken, like, you know, like it's awesome.
So I have a few questions, and actually, you know what? I'm going to save some of them for when we get to the room pool. But so let's talk about. We're going to come back to theory. So if you guys are into the theory crafting aspect of this stuff, wait a little bit. We're going to come back to the rumors and theories about the movie in about 20 minutes. We're going to talk right now and break off into some of the other aspects of this movie. And one of the more important things, arguably, especially in light of recent times, which is the performance of this movie. For one, Black Widow, while good, I would say was somewhere middle of the road MCU. For a lot of people, it's fallen down more than that after watching multiple times and thinking on it. But the MCU has been doing really good with television series, but we've had a break since a new in modern day, this would be the first new in modern day Marvel movie since what, Far From Home, right? So it's been like it's been like 2 years since we've got an in modern day Marvel movie that does do the in-depth dive with heavy relation to the broader MCU. This is kind of a new territory for us, and there's the question of one. Will this movie be good from a critic and fan perspective? Will it be, do you expect it to be a good movie based on what you've seen on the trailers, based on what you've seen like in footage so far, everything you've grabbed? Do you expect that when we get these reviews tonight on social media, do you think these are going to be good or bad?
These reviews will be amazing. I really believe that this will be one of the best MCU movies. Like you don't bring in like an actor like Tony Leung playing the Mandarin and not have it be a good movie. There are like you have Simu Liu, who's like one of the breaking out stars of like this like past year. Like I've seen some movies he's in, like he's really amazing.
Right.
You have Awkwafina, who's like she's one of the most funniest actresses of the last 5 years. Like this movie will be great. Now here's the thing, like Mr. Otter says in the comments, this movie at this moment is looking to make 35 to 55 million domestically in the USA. Right. Now, here's the thing, like I know that in a world where we didn't have a pandemic and blah 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 blah, this movie would have probably made 100 like domestically.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, say that it's like really to like the upper level of that like estimation. Like say it's really gets to 55 domestically. Like we still have Europe, Australia, Canada. Heck, even if this movie has a great like, it's going to be iffy with China. But if China picks on with the movie and like people go watch it there, I mean, this movie has a chance to still make like 120 to 150 million open weekends, and that's good. That's more than Black Widow made. So,
right. Well, I think they made 85. Didn't they make 85? I thought Black Widow made 85 opening weekend.
Yeah, Black Widow made like 85 plus.
But then
like
the drop off after was late. You're right. Yeah. So, and it's interesting. I would say that estimate seems low to me, 35 to 55. Honestly, hearing that, I would expect that would be a bad sign to expect that low of a number.
No,
but
I don't think so.
The IP is new, and yeah, I honestly think there's going to be a lot of people coming out to see this movie. I think that there's a lot of people that are excited for this film. I definitely think there should. I've expected to have more hype at this point. This is the weird thing. This is the reason that I'm worried. Is I expected getting to this point where the movie is like 2.5 weeks out, 3 weeks out. I expected to this point to have more hype for the movie. Not myself. Well, I guess myself as well, but like more from like in general. Like I expected to hear a lot more people buzzing about this movie. And it feels like, and almost intentionally on Marvel's end and Disney's end, that it hasn't been. And like, it almost feels like that it's not getting hyped by Disney, which does make me concerned.
I think there are like a couple of reasons. Like, look, Shang-Chi is an original IP. It's like a very unpopular. I mean, it's popular. It's not an unpopular character, but it's a not many people know of that.
It's
character,
like a C or D list
It's
hero.
It's pretty C list.
Right.
Another thing, like, look, here's the thing, like, there's a chance that this movie won't do well. So I can see a way that Disney is just like, I mean, like, look, we have been getting trailers every day for the past month. I can see a way that like Disney is just like, we will do the campaign and we will try to make people hype, but we are not going to put as many money into this thing because it has a chance of like underperforming. And I'm not saying that it will underperform like the Suicide Squad is doing right now. But I think in the sense of will this movie be a success? Yes, like the Suicide Squad was a success. It's like it was the best watched movie on HBO Max to date.
Right.
99% of fans like that movie, so that movie is a success.
Right.
The box office is just not really great. I think this movie will be the same for Marvel. Maybe make a little more money out of the box office.
Well, you touch on something there. You touch on something. By the way, hey, Daniel.
Sorry.
What's up, Daniel? No worries, being late, man. It's all good. You touched on something there. I did want to make a distinction here. There's two different things that are important for a movie, right? There's the box office performance, because that's what financially incentivizes the studios to be like, people liked this, let's see more. But then there's also the reception, critical rating. There's a lot of other metrics, right? Suicide Squad's a great example of that, right? The box office performance was not good. However, there are a lot of factors there. And moral of the story, regardless of how you look at it, based on critic reception, based on audience reception, this is a movie that is not going to age out for a long time. This is going to be a movie that is going to be played for a long time. There's a lot of movies that are examples that weren't box office hitters, but had a resurgence and got supported later when they, I mean, we're talking like, I can't think of very specific, I know there are examples. This is one of those things. You're just going to have to trust me on it. I can't think of the specific examples. But I knew that there are movies that have had theatrical releases that were not well received, but then once they got on DVD or once they got on, once they got released to the audience outside of theaters, people started to watch it again, and people started to have word of mouth spread and be like, hey, this is a really good movie. I think that's going to be the situation for Suicide Squad.
What's that one movie with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Where they're like Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow.
That was like an example that did do well, right?
It didn't do well, but it's like it became like it not really became a classic, but like in this day and age, like we can all agree that that's a great movie, and that movie is being watched like by many people, like after the year that came out.
So the reality is Suicide Squad is going to be an example of a movie that, while did not financially succeed in the front, I think that's going to be one of those movies that they can look back on and be like, people are signing up for HBO Max more because they can watch this. However, that being said, they screwed up because they could have done both of those things by just releasing it in the theaters and then putting it on HBO Max. Had they done that, they would have been able to reap both rewards. But they're still going to get the rewards of having it on HBO Max for the long run. This is a movie that 5-10 years is going to be evergreen content that they're going to continually have at the core of the HBO Max, that people can be like, I hold HBO Max because of these types of movies.
Another thing that we have to take into consideration, look, as much as we like to like throw this like thought like in the bin, look, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, and the Eternals are all movies that should have come out last year. Yeah, like those movies were pushed back so late and so long that just like there's a large part of the fan base and of like the general audiences who just lost interest in this movie. Those people are now interested in like Thor: Love and Thunder.
That's
Doctor
the thing.
Through the Multiverse of Madness. So we just have to get through this rough period of 2021. Look, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If this movie doesn't do well, I hope Marvel and Disney are smart enough to not wanting to go push back the Eternals and Spider-Man No Way Home again, because what that will do will make people lose their interest in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness,
Right.
Thor: Love and Thunder, and you will get like a domino effect of like these movies going into 2023 also underperforming because of that same reason.
Yeah, because
I
that's
hope
the
they
thing
are
people
smart.
don't think about. Like, so I'm going to say a specific example here. It's been scientifically proven that when you make your own food, you don't enjoy it as much because you're smelling it the whole time. You're getting anticipation up, and that anticipation dissipates before you actually get to eating the food. Okay.
Yep.
That is exactly what I feel like is happening with these movies, and specifically with Black Widow. We had a trailer release back in 2019, right? Like end of 2019, 2020.
Yes.
And then we waited a year and a half with no trailers. Trailers came back in. We were kind of like, this movie we're kind of watching it obligatorily right now. We're kind of over it. We've been smelling it for a year and a half. We're kind of good. Like, we've gotten enough of the promos. We're done with it. Shang-Chi had the benefit of it hadn't started to release its marketing schedule. So for a lot of people that are not in the comic book sphere, they really didn't get wind of this until the marketing pulled out. So for a lot of people, they didn't have that backlash for this movie, which I think is a really good thing. I think they have that going for them. Another thing that they have going for them is for this movie, it doesn't have day and date release. This is going to be the first movie that they actually decide to be intelligent with and say, hey, we're actually going to try just doing a theatrical release. And it's going to be a theatrical release with a movie that's not Tenet. And it's going to be a theatrical release where the vaccine has had a wide rollout. Like, we're going to have a point where it's actually a good test. This is going to be our first actually good, well-intentioned test of a movie to see if it actually can succeed in the theaters by itself without any other stipulations, without a, hey, you can watch it at home option, without all these other things, right? I think that's a really good one. Technically, Free Guy was the first Disney test of pure theatrical. And guess what? Free Guy's doing amazing in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Free Guy's doing amazing.
It's not doing amazing. It's doing better than expected.
It is doing way better than expected, especially considering it's an original IP.
Here's another thing. Look, everyone panicked with the Suicide Squad. Now, here's another thing that we have to take into consideration with that movie. This movie is somewhat of a reboot of one of the worst comic book movies of all time. Look, that movie is still pretty up there in heads of many people. People looking at this movie were probably are they making a sequel to that Abomination?
What were you saying?
I mean,
sorry. I thought you were still continuing the sentence, so it threw me off when you. Okay. Never mind. I got you. I got what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. If they can, there was a lot going against Suicide Squad. There was a lot going against it. And the fact that failed is not surprising. But like I said, Suicide Squad is going to be one of those movies that's going to become an instant cult classic, just like Joker was, right? Where you're going to go back and people are going to be like, this movie was one of the best comic book movies ever. And then some people are like, no, it sucked. And it's going to be one of those movies that's debated in the comic book movie sphere for a long time, regardless of whether or not it did well in the box office. That's going to be a thing that just happens. Mike Porter says the only way you can see it is at the theaters. Then it will make a bunch of money. That's what I've been saying. Listen, anyone that thinks the Marvel Cinematic Universe is dead ain't been watching Disney Plus, and I can tell you, that's nobody here. Everybody, and that's nobody anyone knows. I know random people that never watched Marvel and before, Infinity War Endgame, that are head over heels in love with the Disney Plus content that's going out. I know that when I go to see movie premieres, those theaters are packed. I keep getting surprised because I see way more people there than I see anywhere else. So, the theaters are not going away as long as the studios continue to support them with movies. And I think that there's been some scares, and I think this movie's going to be I expect it to do well financially if it does well critically. And that comes back to my concern. Trinity, what's up, man? I don't think it's the best film to test, but it's a good film. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good one to test for. It's not the number one option. and Infinity War and Endgame would be the type of movie that would be a good test. Or honestly, the Eternals would probably be a pretty good test. But we don't have one of those right now. Spider-Man would be a good movie to test. But again, we don't have one of those right now. I don't think they would use those to test though. Comes back to the discussion. Landon, what's up? So financially, I think it has a lot going for it, more than any movie has had going for it in the past year and a half. This movie to me has the most going for it than any movie in the past year and a half. It's been given the best shot. The question is, will it do well critically? We're going to hear that tonight at about 11 or midnight when the social media embargo gets released. We're going to hear that. The premiere's happening right now. My nervousness, okay, I will say, going into this, into my expectations for this movie, this was my top 3 most hyped Phase 4 content. I want to say the trailers have not hyped me as much as I had expected. Now, I'm so excited for this movie, but I think the trailers were a little less than I had anticipated. And so it makes me wonder. I don't know. Do you think it's going to be good or no?
I'm going to ask you a question. Did you have the same level of nervousness before watching Avengers Endgame and before watching Spider-Man Far From Home? Because those 2 trailers showed us barely nothing.
That's true.
Barely nothing.
Yeah.
Look, Shang-Chi will be one of these movies that will go in with a trailer that didn't show us anything on like the top level, like, you know, like we didn't get like, we got the Abomination scene, which was like I just jumped up and down like my room.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But like, it's not about the trailer; it's about the movie itself. So if tonight we get to hear that this movie is great, which I undeniably think it will, I think I can see no scenario where this is the movie that will be Marvel's like first like real like, you know, mediocre movie. I don't see a way that where this is the one. So I think we just need to wait till like 12 at night to hear the reviews, and then we can make like our real things of like, yeah, this movie will do great, or yeah, this movie will be mediocre.
So I do think at the end of the day, what matters the most is that second weekend box office, because the first weekend everyone's hype, everyone sees it the first time. What matters is that second weekend when we see, did people come back? Did people bring their friends?
Mm-hmm.
And it's especially important knowing that the theatrical window is being respected, at least in part. Obviously, it's halved. It's 45 days. But that'll be important. Now, I do want to say, I think another thing it has going for it, unlike a lot of the other Marvel content we've had in Phase 4, this movie, I think, is going to be pretty IP heavy, like intellectual property heavy, in that we've already seen Wong and Abomination in here, and with a tournament arc opens a lot of windows for a lot of cameos of fan service stuff.
Wait, let me get my phone real quick because I saved some things.
Yes, please. And so that's the thing, is like, while I think that it's not I don't think that a movie should rely on that, I think a lot of Marvel fans really like seeing those things and getting more speculation. I think this movie's going to provide a lot of speculation in the future that just MCU content hasn't given us, aside from Loki. But Loki did, and you can tell Loki did, because like when Loki gave us all that fan service, that's all we talked about for way longer than Falcon Winter Soldier's ending and WandaVision's ending. WandaVision's ending and Falcon Winter Soldier's ending, they were great. We talked about them. Well, they obviously were not. A lot of people say they're not great, right? A lot of people were let down in the finales. I like them, but it's fine. But Loki's finale, because it had so much MCU ties, so much fan service, we ended with things to talk about for months. We're still seeing like new Rockstars videos about Loki's timeline explained, right? Like a month or two after, right? So like we had so much to break down afterward. I think Shang-Chi is going to be like that, and that matters in the MCU. And 100%
Another thing, I think like we saw some things about this in the trailer, but I think Shang-Chi has a chance to have one of the best third acts of every Marvel movie. Like, we are going to get a huge final battle with all these mystical creatures. There are like these lion things in here. There's a dragon. We are getting these like firebird type of creatures, like all creatures from like Chinese like mythology.
Yeah.
Plus, then what you say, there's this tournament, and I say some things about that. Like you said, it's going to be IP heavy because we are getting like, apparently from the leak we got a couple of months ago, still depending on if this will be true or not. I think it's pretty true.
Is this the one that came out like a year and a half ago? Or is
this is not the one. There came, I think it was like 2 months ago where we got like a new one. And I think this one is just because it tracks with like some of the earlier rumors we heard. And it has just like, it has characters in there that are just like, we can just see them fit in that movie, in that tournament. So yeah. I'm just going to name a few. Like, there will be a tournament, so like every base of every type of,
it's gonna be action heavy, this entire movie.
Yeah, for sure. And like there are going to be many groups of people trying to get the 10 ring. So we have apparently Baron Mordo.
Oh wait, hold off on this because we're gonna go through the rumor pool. So so we'll talk about that. Well, actually, I wanted to jump into that really soon, so we can just jump right into that now. Because and I'll get to that in a second. Because if you have that leak, those like we don't know it's leaks, we don't know if it's theories, we don't know what it is, but obviously this is like not confirmed, but we will get to it. So Mr. Otter, let me just read what they say, and then we'll pull up the rumor pool. So Mr. Otter said it'll probably do fine regardless of critical reception, unless it gets absolutely trashed, like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes level bad. Yeah, which I don't think it's gonna get that, obviously. So yeah, definitely agree. We know the cage tournament. We know the battle in the building, which I think is also in where the tournament was. So I think the tournament gets crashed in or something like that. The bus battle, the old school dream-like martial arts with his mom, the 10 rings battle, the cool water scene, the flashback battle you didn't mention with the Mandarin. There's a lot of fights. Mike Porter is predicting anywhere between 85 and 95 Rotten Tomatoes. Dude, I hope so. Really hope so. All right. So let me pull up the rumor pool. I kind of set it up here. If I can pull it up. There we go. I need to obviously configure my Streamlabs setting. I realized earlier that I did not have a way to show it on screen. So until like a minute ago. So I set it up last minute before going live, which is why it looks so terribly. Let's see if I can fix that. There we go. Something like that. Guys, I am a tech guru here. If anyone ever needs how to run a stream, definitely come to Burke. I know so much about how to run streams. It's my specialty here. All right. So I want to pull this up. If you guys didn't know, we're going to talk about all the a lot of the rumors and theories and potential leaks, not confirmed, potential leaks for the Shang-Chi movie. Okay. Now, what the rumor pool is, if you've never done the rumor pool, it is not posted. I will be dropping this rumor pool tonight on the Discord as soon as this stream has ended. So you'll be able to start. Actually, I might even drop it. Yeah, I'll drop it on the Discord as soon as this has ended. Landon, if you're able to post a Discord link to the Discord so people can go join, that way once I drop it, they'll be able to do that. If you don't know what the rumor pool is, the rumor pool is a game we play here on the channel. I discussed it a little bit earlier. We take all the rumors, theories, and leaks that are surrounding the movie. We make a questionnaire of them, and then you fill it out, and you make your predictions. Do you think this will happen, or yes or no? And then you fill it all out at the, and then we close it a little bit before all the full reviews, like the spoiler reviews, come out. And then after the movie happens, we do a spoiler discussion on the stream, typically a Monday stream. And we go through the room pool. We see who had the most accurate predictions. And then whoever gets the most accurate prediction will win a role in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. We're going to talk about what's on here and make our speculations based on this as well. So I know it's kind of small. We'll be reading through it. as we go. But let's start with this. So you said there's a lot of different people that we think are going to show up on the sheet. Obviously, we know like Shang-Chi, Katie, the Mandarin, Razor Fist, all those people we've seen in the trailer and in like all of that stuff. We know those people are going to show up. We know that the Great Protector is going to show up because we've seen the toys that are Funko Pops that are already released, that the dragon that we see on screen is the Great Protector. But we have a lot of people in here. Why don't we kind of just compare what you've heard from that tournament to what we have here?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like who do you have that like is being speculated? Obviously, I don't think it's going to be spoilers, but there's potential that you may be spoiled by just hearing what people have heard based on the rumors and theories. But at the end of the day, it's kind of all speculation. But what have you heard from that?
All right, so can I just go over these characters really quick, or
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, so looking at this thing right now, like there's one thing in here that makes me makes me question this leak. Like,
yes, potential spoiler alert. Potential spoiler alert.
Batroc the Leaper. Like, for people that haven't watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier yet, like, man's pretty dead. So look, I don't know, like. There's a chance that he faked his death in that show, but like there are some like other characters in here. Like we get Baron Mordo, who has been rumored, Omega Reds. Remember when we were speculating about Omega Red showing up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that totally didn't happen. There's apparently going to be a Black Widow in the movie.
Okay.
Like we know after the Black Widow events, we know that these Black Widows are now free to do whatever they want.
And one just decided they wanted to get the power of the 10 rings.
Apparently, like that's like how characters are. Now, here's one big thing, and this is actually a character that has been rumored to appear in this movie for as back as like when we heard the announcement, and that's the character of WizKid.
That was like a year and a half ago. There was like a theory about WizKid showing up, but that trailer called the tournament happening, but said some very interesting things. Like they said like Wolverine was going to be in it. And then they said like an Asgardian was going to be in the tournament. And they said all these different things. In this thing. So they still think an Asgardian's going to show up.
So look, here's just this leak apparently is this leak like it's just like there are many characters that I personally think could show up in this movie, because like WizKid is a character that has been rumored so many times. I can see him show up in there. There's a Black Widow. There's an Asgardian called Danica. Look, we are getting many Asgardian things with Thor: Love and Thunder. So it would be nice to have an Asgardian be in that movie to fill in the voids until like Thor: Love and Thunder. Here's a character like Avok. Avok is a vampire. Like we are getting Blades. We are getting Moon Knight.
Vampires are already in the MCU. I mean, Loki confirmed it. So.
Yeah,
like it's already So this is the interesting thing. I do want to temper expectations. If the tournament arc happens, we will not see every fight. Just have the expectation that it's not going to be an anime tournament arc where we get every match gets its own attention. It's still centered around our main characters. We're gonna get like little moments between them if it does happen. So like just be aware that thank you, Mike, for the Discord link. I appreciate that. Just be aware, if the tournament arc happens, it's unlikely that we're gonna get a large here's match one. It's gonna follow our main characters.
Yeah, we are not going to get 30 minutes of the Abomination versus the Omega Red.
No, it's gonna be it's gonna be happening like we see it behind him, and just as to use the joke, right? Not that we won't see Wong after the fight being like, oh my gosh, well, I came here to see you, whatever. But, I think that that's going to be interesting. Sorry, continue who other people might end up showing
up. Which people I think might show up.
Or which people this says might show up. Did you finish the list?
There are two more characters in here. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I closed my phone. So apparently there's a character called Spiral in this movie who is like a 6-armed mutant. There's a character called
I don't know that I
There's a
have that
character
on here. I'm gonna add that to here actually.
There's a character called T-Ray, who is like basically like T-Ray is basically like a C-list Deadpool character.
How do you spell that? T-Ray?
T-Ray, like just like T-Ray. So
like the letter T.
Letter T.
Dash.
Ray. Yeah, dash and then Ray.
Okay, I'm gonna add it on the rumor pool before we put it out.
White Claw, who is like some Native American warrior guy.
What was the name?
White Claw.
White Claw. I feel like he's already on here. Do you think it's okay? Listen, we have enough White Claws going around.
All right, cool.
White Claw. White Claws. Do they have White Claws in Europe?
What is it? I don't get the. Yeah, sorry.
White Claws are a drink. They're a seltzer water. That's like alcoholic seltzer water.
Never heard of it. I'm sorry.
They're terrible. They're terrible. Mr. Otter loves them. I hate them.
All right.
But they're very popular over here. Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws. That's the rule.
There's a character called Danica, who is like a female as guardian.
Okay. Oh, I should probably put her in there too. How do you spell that? Danica, Danika.
Yep. And then to end off, Avok the vampire.
Avok. How do you spell it? AVOC?
No, K at the end.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, I'm putting those on the list there. Okay, so we added a bunch of those. Never heard of White Claw. Sounds. Oh my gosh. So maybe honestly.
Can I just throw in some characters that I just want to show up in that tournament?
Yes, please throw them
out. First of all, Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, Luke Cage, the Punisher, Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
So we have Iron Fist on this list, actually. We have, dude. Everybody wanted everyone on it. Once that leak came out, the leak like a year and a half ago about the tournament, everyone was like, "Oh, what if Iron Man's on there?" You know, what if we get
going to be like?
What if Captain America's been hiding out all this time, and old man like Cap comes for the tournament?
It's going to be like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so everyone is here.
Yes. When is I've actually heard a rumor that the villager, or not the villager, I've heard that Steve from Minecraft will be in this tournament.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah,
I heard the photographer of Pokemon Snap will be in the movie.
Please. Oh my god. So there's a lot of people I have on this list. I'm gonna go down the list, starting at the names that I know, characters. I actually know the characters.
Wait, let me get some drink real quick.
Yeah, and we'll have them guess which ones we think are gonna show up. We'll do a quick run through. I feel like we need a little kid with a monkey tail cameo. They don't have to say anything. Just show them. Just show. Ain't no law when you're drinking claw, Mike. That's right. Mango or black cherry, I have no preference. Actually, I do have a preference, neither. All right. So, Stormy, I'm going to run through very quickly. No explanation. Just going to go through names, and I want you to just say, will they show up or will they not show up in this movie? Not necessarily in the tournament, just in the movie, period. The Great Protector.
Just yes or no?
Yeah, just yes or no.
Okay.
The Great Protector.
Yes.
Fing Fang Foom.
No.
No. Trevor Slattery.
No.
Aldrich Killian.
No.
Iron Fist.
No.
Omega Red.
Look, I was so incredibly pained by Falcon and the Winter Soldier and not him. No.
He's got to say no. Baron Mordo. No.
Yes.
Okay. Abomination, obviously, yes. And Wong, yes.
Yes.
WizKid. You think he's going to show up?
I think so, yes.
Feng Huang. I don't actually know who. Oh, Feng Huang is, I added this. Feng Huang.
Feng Huang?
That's how it's pronounced. That's how it's pronounced. Feng Huang is the mythical, like, phoenix, like, bird from.
Oh, yeah.
New Rockstars covered it. And I was like, oh, that's a good point. So I added it here. Do you think that's going to be what those like phoenix like birds are? Is the Feng Huang?
So.
Okay.
I think so.
And then I don't know who Fa Lo Sui is.
All right, so actually, like, this is actually something that I just need to touch on real quick. So Faulo Su is like in the comics, she's the sister of Shang-Chi. She's the long lost sister of Shang-Chi.
Okay.
Now it seems that Xiao
Uncle
like
Ben.
will take up that role in this movie. So we're probably not even going to get Faulo Su. So
Okay. Do you know who Colleen Wing is?
yeah, Colleen Wing is from Iron Fist. No, she's not going to show up.
Okay. Doctor Strange.
Well, actually, I would like a post-credits. No, I would just like a end scene of like Wong just like coming to the Sanctum Sanctorum, like beaten up, and like Doctor Strange just cracking.
That'd be funny.
Like,
that would be funny.
But no, it's not going to be in the movie.
Okay. I'm starting to believe that Doctor Strange no longer exists because there's just so many movies that they keep things that people say Doctor Strange is going to show up. I'm convinced Wong is now the only sorcerer.
I mean, didn't Doctor Strange show up in Wonder? Oh yeah,
he was supposed to show up in everything apparently, and now we don't see him anywhere. So I don't know if he exists anymore. So do you think Spiral, T-Ray, Danica, White Claw, Avok? Do you think any of those are actually going to show up? The ones from the leak, obviously.
Start with Spiral.
Spiral.
No.
T-Ray.
No.
Danica.
Danica will show up because she's an Asgardian. I think that will fill in the void till like Thor: Love and Thunder.
Okay. White Claw?
I have a feeling White Claw will be like an actual character, so I think he will show up.
Okay. Avok the Vampire.
I think so. I just think that they will have like a vampire in there to fill in the void till Blade.
Okay. Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo?
Jimmy Woo?
Nah, I don't think Jimmy Woo will show up.
He's the strongest sorcerer in the MCU, though. So I feel like if anyone...
Trick.
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury won't show up.
Okay, and then I added this one, Mr. Otter. I caught you, man. Valentina Allegra Fontaine.
Miss Hydra?
You think? I mean, she's been in 2 things. Statistically speaking, she is the end credit person right now in the MCU.
I think so. She will be in the movie, and she will recruit the Abomination.
Okay. Darcy Lewis.
Okay, all right. So really quick, why would Darcy Lewis show up in this movie? But no, she won't.
Sword.
But what has Sword to do with like?
Actually, is she even with Sword yet?
No, she won't.
Forget.
Nope.
War Machine. Rhodey.
Nope.
Wolverine.
Do you mean Patch? No.
Oh, sorry. Wolverine / Patch. Let me put that in there.
Yeah, Patch will totally show up as a bartender in Madripoor, you know?
All right.
No,
how about Sharon Carter?
I don't want her to show up. I just want her character to be written out of the MCU. She was my least favorite character in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I don't even want her. So
fair enough. Listen, I still think that they left it open-ended that Sharon Carter is the power broker. I still think it is not confirmed. I think a lot of people took that as a yes at the end. That's just my take. I don't know. Ducky Momo, what's up, man? Doctor Strange is not the Sorcerer Supreme. Mike says Val will show up. You guessed the meme, Stormy. Potato Head will show up, and Uncle Ben will definitely. Okay, some other ones. Do you think a mutant will show up?
Yes, if Whisket is in there, there will be a mutant.
Okay, will a Black Widow show up?
Yes.
Will a Sword Agent show up?
Nope.
Will a Wakandan show up? I could see a Wakandan in the tournament. I could see that.
I could see that. I can see it too, and I think there is like a pretty big chance of like one of these like. I have a pretty big feeling that there will be an arc in Black Panther 2 where there will be like a set group of Wakandans who like don't want to listen to the regime anymore of like Wakanda, and just they want to, because Wakanda opened up to the world and they don't want that. So I think there will be one of those like Wakandans who's like kind of shady in that movie, you know? Okay,
that would be cool. And then another one, so, yeah. Obviously in the comics, Shang-Chi has a very long tie with the MI6. Do you think there could be an MI6 operative in this?
I mean, there was actually like a pretty big rumor that the character of Black Tar, I don't know who that character was anymore. Black Tar, I think. He's like the main MI6 character from the comics, so I think there's a pretty big chance that he's in there.
Okay. We'll have to see. All right, so then here's some other questions. These are some of the questions, again, that will be on the room pool, so if you have your own thoughts, please fill it out later when I drop it tonight. Do you think there's actually going to be a tournament, or do you think this is just a fighting ring? It's completely coincidental.
Hell yeah, there will be a tournament.
Okay. Do you think the prize will be the 10 rings? I mean, obviously, that's what the current running theory is, that whoever wins gets the 10 rings, right? That's
I think it will be said that the 10 rings is the prize, but in the end, the one who wins, the man will just be like, "Yeah, fuck off. You're not going to get my 10 rings."
Fair enough. Yeah, I could see that. So you do think so?
No.
Okay. Here's the other thing. Will the 10 rings be both intact and with Shang-Chi? I actually changed this because I added there another one. Because this is kind of two-parter. I didn't realize it, and I added this.
Can you say that question real quick again?
Will the 10 rings be intact as of the end of the film? Do you think they'll be still intact, like all together?
Yes.
All right, let me write "and" together here. All right. Do you think so? Will there be explicit references? Obviously, in the MCU, we've heard that we've heard this group, right? The 10 rings, been brought up all over the place. Iron Man 3, Ant-Man. Do you think there will be explicit references to those events in this movie? And guys, in the chat, let me know what you think as we're talking through these.
Well, I think so. I mean, why wouldn't it?
Right. I feel like they have to reference it, but maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. I mean, they made an explicit note to reference those events in the they had like that whole video, right? They had that whole like trailer kind of talking about that. So I think they definitely want us to remember that. So we'll see. Will Finn Jones reprise his role as Danny Rand from the Netflix series in this movie?
What do you want me to say?
I want you to say your answer. I'm a duck. What's up, Ducky?
Look, there was some pretty big thing about like Finn Jones that came out over the past few days, so no, he won't show up.
Oh.
He won't.
All right, then. Will the Mandarin still be alive at the end of this film? We know MCU's record with killing off villains, so you're going with yes, he'll still be around. Okay.
Nope.
I'm not sure about that one, actually. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with that one. Will Shang-Chi and the Mandarin team up against a common enemy in the film at some point? I'm leaning towards no. I think he's going to be the Mandarin will be the villain or the target.
I mean, at one point in the movie, we could see a team up between them, but like not really like no,
against an enemy, obviously. Yeah, no, I don't think so either. Yeah, it seems unlikely.
No, I don't think so.
Will the Agents of Atlas be set up by the end of the film? Like, as indicated. So we would have to hear the words Agents of Atlas, obviously, for that to count as true. But what do you think? Do you think that's going to happen?
I actually forgot about that theory, and I forgot about Jimmy Woo.
You had a whole theory about Agents of Atlas when we had you on last to talk about this.
I know
we
did.
Like 6 months ago.
All right, can you really quickly go back to Jimmy Woo and add him to a yes?
Oh, I'm not filling it out for you. You'll have to fill it out.
Of course.
But definitely.
I think we could see like a post-credit scene of like him coming up to the character and like saying like, "Hey, making a team."
Okay, I can see that. Ducky says, "Does a flashback count for a team up?" I might clarify this. Does Shang-Chi and the Mandarin team up against a common enemy at the end of the film? Let's do that so it's more clear. So I would say it has to be at the end. Do you think Shang-Chi will gain the ability to self-duplicate in this movie? Obviously, we know his powers. In the comics, he's able to duplicate himself. You think it's going to happen in the movie?
I hope so.
I'm going to say yes. I think it's going to be a contrived power from the rings that he gets in the second movie or in some sort of sequel. I don't think he's going to get it in this film. That's my take. Because I think he's going to learn more about it. Like, I think this movie is going to be more about his relationship with his father and then the second movie can be about his relationship with himself and the powers that he's gotten. So he could learn more about him, and then that duplication is going to be a part of learning more about it and diving into it, the powers more. That's my thoughts on it. But I could see it would be cool to see it. Maybe we'll get like a hint at it. So you're going to say yes. Do you think so? There's a lot. We've seen this door or people have said it's a door or a gateway in the movie multiple times, or in the trailer multiple times. We've also seen these mythical creatures that seem to be in the mountains somewhere. Do you think that they're going to introduce into a new dimension or a new realm outside of regular Earth that's going to be explored here?
Yeah, totally. I think that's the thing, and that would actually be cool, because that lines up, like, that means that more of those like part of like pocket like universes can be in like our world, because that would open the door to the Savage Lands. That would open the door to
that's a good point.
The Savage Lands, because like, I don't know if you guys know this, Kevin Feige's favorite character in the Marvel comics is Kazar. On multiple times he said that he wants to do something with that character. Look, if the Savage Land gets introduced into the MCU, I'm losing my shit.
That would be cool. You're right. It opens the doors for a lot of things. That's true. And they're always looking for ways to introduce us to new concepts in their movies in more subtle ways. So, yeah, I like that a lot. All right. Will Shang-Chi be recruited, confirmed, or heavily implied by a team or organization by the end of the film, i.e. Sword, Avengers, etc.?
So it can be Atlas too.
It could be Atlas. It could be whatever Val's group is. Could be any of those. You think that's going to happen?
If it's Atlas, yes, I think so.
Okay.
If it's Jimmy Woo.
Cool. Will the 10 rings be from space?
Yes.
Do you think that'll be clarified? Like, hey, the rings, we got these rings. They fell from the sky, or we took them from space. Okay. I'm leaning towards no. I think they're going to be something more spiritual or something. They're going to try to lean into like more magic elements, like Earthbound. But that's my thoughts. Will Shang-Chi's mother be dead for the main events of the film, like in the main timeline of the film? Obviously, there's going to be flashbacks. I think we're going to see her in some sort of spirit realm. But do you think that like she's going to be dead?
I have a pretty big feeling that Shang-Chi's mother is the dragon. And that the Mandarin
I think so too.
And that the Mandarin is just like a dirty little man who like went and a
Oh
dragon.
no. I was not thinking that. I don't think that's true.
In that sense,
I think she died and her spirit became the dragon.
Yeah, I know. I'm just joking. Calm down, man. I'm just joking.
I can see how you could get there.
How would there even be a way where a man would?
We're not going to explore that. But
yeah, let's go ahead.
It's Marvel. They'll make something up. No. Will we see Abomination in his human form as Blonsky in this?
No, and for the basic reason that Abomination can't change back into his human form. That's the thing with him in the comics. But
isn't the actor reprising his role in She-Hulk?
I mean, he's reprising his role in She-Hulk, but that doesn't mean that he will be able to like revert back. Like, the Abomination is a very, very. You can see why Abomination is like a character that is so bad. He's just like, he can't change back into Emil Blonsky.
Yeah.
So
okay.
No, he won't. Like no.
I think his diet's like. That's just a weird side note, but like, I mean, you think like Bruce Banner, like he turns back and you figure he probably eats like a semi-normal diet. Wonder what Abomination needs to eat in a day. Just a thought.
Abomination, I don't know, man.
Probably a lot. Probably a lot of food.
I think he just like eats a pig in one shot.
Right? You're probably just okay, so the next one is, will Wong be on screen for more than a quick cameo? So more than 3 minutes. Where are we going to see Wong on screen?
I think if there's a tournament, I think that Wong and Abomination scene will be one of the more like fights that we will see more of, I think Wong and Shang-Chi will have an interaction. So yeah, I think he will be in there for more than 3 minutes. Maybe if it's like 3 minutes and 1 second, I mean that counts as more than 3.
It would technically count. Yeah. Someone get their stopwatch out in the theater. All right, will they go to Madripoor during this film? So a lot of people, I want to be clear, a lot of people have said that we see Madripoor in the trailer. We do not. There was a Madripoor flag, I believe, that was picked out by New Rockstars kind of in the background. However, the city we see is Shanghai. So the city we see in the trailer is Shanghai. So we have not seen Madripoor as far as we know in there. So I'm leaning towards they're going to be in Shanghai for the events of the film, but they could go to Madripoor at some point. Do you think it's going to happen?
No.
Okay. Another one, and this is I threw this in. This is one of those oddball long shot ones. Do you think they go to Kamartaj at any point during this film?
No.
All right. Do you think that? So there's a theory going around. Hasn't been discussed, but there's a theory going around that this takes place between the events of Infinity War and Endgame. In the 5-year time period.
It has since been confirmed that it's happening after the snap. After the blip, so it's after Endgame.
Oh, free pick for everybody then. 3 points. Will Shang-Chi win the tournament? Or do you think it's going to I think it's going to be called I think it's going to be stopped halfway through. I don't think there's going to be a clear winner of a tournament.
No, what I think will happen, I think the final battle will be Shang-Chi versus the Abomination. That is like my
that'd be cool.
Ideal way to go with it. And I think like there's going to be an invasion at like I think Shang-Chi is maybe losing, and then there's like an invasion happening where the match is like cut in half, and like there's just like a big fight starting. Like that's something that I envision in my head. So I don't think even there will be a winner. So
okay,
no, in that sense.
So if we select no, if we think the tournament will be interrupted, or do we go by Ash rule in Pokemon rules? That's a good question. No, yeah. If the tournament does not end with a clear winner, then it would be false. So you have to say the tournament ends. Shang-Chi's declare the winner. That's how that goes. If someone else is declared winner or the tournament doesn't finish or the tournament never happens, it's false. The next one is, will Mandarin die by the end of the film? Did I duplicate that? I feel like that was on there twice.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, let me get rid of one of those. That's why, we go through it. I don't know why I thought I didn't see it the first time through. All right. So we already talked about that. Do you think that Shang-Chi, by the end of this movie, will have full ownership over the 10 rings? Do you think they are his?
He will have full ownership. They will be his, but I don't think they will use them. What I think will happen to them is that like he will give them to Wong, and they will be in the Sanctum Sanctorum moving forward.
Okay. I just added one somewhere. Where did I add that? Where? I just added. Hold up. Let me duplicate this. I really like what Star Wars MCU OG added. I want to see.
Can I ask one question? Kamar Tosh. I completely like. Look, I just see like this one guy in the chat saying Kung Lun. I was mistaking Kamar Tosh with Kung Lun. So Kamar Tosh is like where the sorcerers are at, isn't it?
Yes.
No, I don't think it will be in the movie. So yeah, no.
I added Kunlun being mentioned because I really liked that one. So we'll see that. And then the last one is, some people think that the Mandarin's goal is to gain immortality, and whatever he's doing in this film is in seeking of that immortality. Do you think that's true?
I think he was seeking immortality, and that with like assembling the 10 rings, he got that. Because I think the Mandarin will be ages old. We got this like scene where he has like long hair and like a different type of suit, and that was back in the day. So I think the only way to have him die is when he gets stripped from his powers of the 10 rings. So I think he will be immortal in the movie if he has the 10 rings.
I'm gonna say, will Mandarin be seeking / have immortality in this film? Because that's really good. All right. So that's the end of it for the theories. Ultimately, I am super excited for this movie.
Me too, man. I can't wait.
Really can't wait to see it. I think that a lot of us are going to have a lot of fun. If you like some of these questions, if you think you have thoughts on them, I will be dropping this in the Discord. If someone could drop the Discord link again, I'd really appreciate it. I'll be dropping in this Discord at the end of the stream. We'll be ending at 8 o'clock. I have about 2 more questions, 2 more little talking points with you off of Shang-Chi in just a second. And then we're going to be doing the battle bracket matchups, which you're welcome to either stay on for and give your opinion on, or
I can say I have
whatever
all
works. Cool. So we'll be going through those, and then we'll be as well. If you don't know what the battle bracket is, stick around. You're going to like that too. And we will be having people vote live, so make sure you're here so you can vote for that. But yeah, I really am excited for Shang-Chi. Ultimately, I think this is going to be a great movie. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm excited because in just a few hours, we're going to be hearing how other people have received it, and then we can open a whole new discussion on that. The MCU discussion page on our Discord is going to be hot full of discussion about it, so if you join there, you'll be able to talk about it there as well. Definitely enjoy talking with all of you guys there. You've been keeping it alive much better than I have, so I appreciate you guys. A few more things off the top to talk about. One is we have had a leak, quote unquote, of the Moon Knight costume.
Yes.
I
wanted to talk about this.
I know you wanted to talk about it, so we're bringing it up. We have this. We have 2 different leaked images. I'm gonna need to rework how I frame this image here. Let's go ahead and just move this around. We do have the leaked image, quote unquote leaked image of Moon Knight here. Whether or not it is the actual, whether or not it's actually Moon Knight, whether or not it's actually confirmed, not sure. What are your thoughts on this costume? I have to say.
All right.
Actually, let me let you. Yeah, you go first. You go first. I think it's probably better if you start.
All right. There's one big thing that we have to take into consideration with this suit. I heard one of the biggest complaints with this suit, and that was before the other photo came out. You know, the other photo with the concept art. The biggest thing that I see with this suit is people saying, but this suit isn't white. Now we have to take into consideration this is a photograph from another screen with this is in a dark room, it seems. So this suit is probably white or like a wider tone, but just because of the light and because it's like bad quality, it looks that it's like a gray, darker gray suit. But I don't think that's the case. Now, one thing that I really like about the suit are the glowing white eyes. This makes me question why there's still no Batman iteration with white eyes, because it clearly looks dope on live action.
So I heard, admittedly, from somebody, I think it was a TikTok that was bringing up this footage or this picture, and he made a point that this is like this is not fully finished. So like this is a pre-edited image that we're getting, right? That being said, it could end up looking really cool, but I was much more looking for I'll pull up this image. I was much more looking for this type of look here.
No, but
more
really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pull up the other photo, the one I sent at you.
Right here.
Because I can that suit. Yeah, that's one. Look, this suit. It can be a chance that the suit that the first photo we got is like a prototype suit,
right?
And that this is the suit that he will have at the final. Look, this suit, to be honest, is everything I wanted. Look, I know what people are saying. This suit isn't really what it looks like in the comics, as of the design of the suit. This is more he looks like a mummy with a cape and some bandages and anything. But I think with them diving into Egyptian mythology, I think this is a very, very, very cool thing of them to do, and I especially really like that cape.
Now I'm hearing you say that and looking at it, and this image definitely does better justice to a final product. I do like this design, and this could be a round one costume. Obviously costumes develop over time, and upgrading the costume has notoriously been a big factor in all comic book content. You start with one version of a costume, you upgrade it. So if this was a first round where, he made it himself with the sewing kit, and this is he's trying to emulate a mummy or something like that, That would be cool. I think I could go with that. I think ultimately, I would accept it if it's well written and it makes sense for the story. I think you've convinced me. I like the costume. I like
Look,
this version. This
the big
looks
thing
like
why I
CW.
like it-
This looks like what I would expect out of CW
Yeah.
or like old Power Rangers.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I don't know who said it in the chat. That's the thing. This is probably like, this is probably a picture taken from like a camera, which like the suit isn't finished yet. They are still going to go back in like with like CGI and special effects, like
right, because they
editing
CGI over all costumes. Period.
Yeah,
like
indeed.
yeah. And
So-
honestly, like the white eyes, I would actually say the white eyes might not be edited. Like the white eyes might be the fact that that was not part of the image. Like that might be where the eyes go.
True.
Quite literally, like it could just be like an open space where they didn't draw it because it's gonna be filled in with a person's eyes.
No, but yes, like the other photo, like if that's the suit that we are getting like by the end of the series, I'll be very pleased. And I mean that's just another sign that like Phase 4 is really taking it up with the suits designs.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, Naman,
they are
what's up?
becoming
Welcome.
very comic accurate. And one more thing about that suit. This is the biggest thing that because there have been iterations of Moon Knight where his suit was more darker gray, where it was
Right.
more white with black. I especially really like the all white one, so I really love that they went with that one.
Yeah, I think ultimately I'm excited for it, and you know what? And to the point, they can always upgrade the costume. They can change it over time. Ultimately, I think probably a good move. We'll see. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, these are just like very early leaks. We don't know a whole lot about it. It could be anything, but yeah, I think that's kind of the gist of it. I feel like we had one other topic we wanted to mention. We talked about Suicide Squad and our thoughts on that. We talked about this. Was there any other topics that I wanted to bring up?
Wasn't it Spider-Man No Way Home?
Oh, right. So you had mentioned earlier, and I was unaware of this, that there was apparently they've announced a trailer that will be dropping and when it'll be dropping. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so Daniel Rickman earlier today, Daniel RPK, sent out a tweet that he has since deleted, where he said that there will be a trailer shown for Spider-Man No Way Home next week at CinemaCon.
Right.
But that's us, the general audiences, and like the fans who are sitting at home won't even be able to see that trailer. That they won't push out the trailer afterwards. So if they do that, in my opinion, stupid as hell. We have already waited too long. We aren't getting any news if this movie is delayed or not. If they do that also, I think that will kill hype for many people, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, another thing, look, that trailer is going to leak, and we will get to know what happened in that trailer just by people describing what happened, you know?
Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. I think that there's a lot of hype that we want out of this trailer, and we just don't really know fully what to expect yet. I'm personally of the, like, I didn't expect a trailer to drop this soon. Trailer has also been dubbed, so it's imminent, even if it's after CinemaCon. Yeah, I'm honestly, like, I'm not too worried about it, but you're right. I don't really want to hear it secondhand. I don't want to hear the trailer from somebody else. I want to see it, right? And so, like, that's absolutely a relevant concern, is, like, am I going to get to see this for myself, or am I just going to be hearing about it based on, you know, what a bunch of other people saw, and, you know, what a bunch of other people ended up reading about. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely a relevant concern. I think that's definitely something that I would be worried about. I want to see it. I want to see what we have, and I don't want to be spoiled beforehand. And I know we know a lot, especially, like, we know a lot about it, but we don't know a lot about it in the same way. You know, like, there's so many theories, but there's not a lot of stuff. People are gonna be so mad when Toby and Andrew aren't in the trailer. Dude, I don't know if Sony can hold it that close to the vest. Honestly,
they won't be in there. Like,
I don't know if Sony can hold it that close to the vest, though, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Sony might not be able to hold that in.
At this point, we just know that they are in there, but they won't be in the trailer. Like, that would be the stupidest thing to show those two characters in the trailer. You know,
You think?
that would be the same. Like, if like the trailer for Endgame was basically like having like the cap wielding Mjolnir in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? Like that would be incredibly stupid. Then again, Sony is like known for making stupid decisions.
Right.
So
could go either way, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of like, I'm not positive yet of where I'm kind of sitting with this. I think ultimately, I have a feeling we're gonna get a trailer, but to your point, I mean, they very easily could just drop it to them. They don't have the greatest. I don't feel like Sony has their eye on the ball as much with marketing as Disney does. But then again, Disney's been kind of doing some mistakes recently, as we all know. So I gotta go. We gotta see. Hard disagree. That's marketing genius to show them. To your point, I guess as a counteroffer, you could show it to on CinemaCon or whatever, and have them hype up the trailer even more. Maybe even have like some sort of agreement with people. I don't know how well you could do that at a con like that, but we'll have to see. Ultimately, there's still a lot of speculation as to what's going to happen with that trailer. I'm ready to see it whenever they give it to me. Whatever. I don't want the hype to die, though. That's the worry I have. Is like, what if the trailer drops and then they push the movie back? And I don't know if I want to live with that for that movie. You know? So,
no more delays.
No more delays. We'll see. At the end of the day, what can you do? So, on that note, we're going to jump into the battle bracket. If you guys don't know what the battle bracket is, allow
I'm
me.
going to the toilet real quick.
Yeah, you're good. I'm going to introduce the battle bracket to them while we work on this. So if you do not know what the battle bracket is, the battle bracket is a thing we do every stream. At the end of the stream, we've been going through a massive bracket. I'm going to zoom out to kind of contextualize how big this bracket is. We have been going through a massive bracket of over 80 teams, heroic teams across movies, television, anime, video games, and more, going together to decide which is the strongest heroic team across all the franchises. We have a lot of fun. We've been filling it out, and at the beginning of the whole bracket, you guys, some of you filled out predictions on how you thought this bracket would go. But then every week, you get the opportunity to vote on a few of these matchups to decide who wins the fight and who goes on to the next round. We have 4 matchups that we're discussing today. And by the way, to be clear, there was an opportunity to vote earlier today via Discord and Twitter. I dropped the link to be able to vote earlier. However, if you missed the opportunity to vote then, you still have a chance to vote now because we will be voting live on stream to determine the outcomes of these matchups. So please stick around. It'll be 4 matchups. If you don't know all the teams, that's okay. We talk a little bit about them. We're going to contextualize it, get to have some fun, and talk through these hypothetical fights. It's going to be a lot of fun. There are 4 different teams on here. Will be 4 different matchups that we'll be discussing today. The 4 matchups are Team Natsu from Fairy Tail versus the New Order of the Phoenix from the Harry Potter movies, which is the Order of the Phoenix at the end of the movies. Blackpool Squad from Black Clover versus the X-Force from Deadpool 2. This is the X-Force including like Colossus and everyone. We'll talk about the full team in a second. There's the Naruto team from Team 7, Naruto, Sasuke, and the like. Team Ash from the Pokemon anime. Toa Nuva from Bionicles. And the Teen Titans from the 2006 animated series. Some really interesting fights here. We're going to break them down, and we're going to have you guys vote to determine who should win. These votes will be added together with the voting from earlier. So if you voted in our Discord and on Twitter, which again, we drop new matchups every week. We drop 2 different matchups, sets of matchups every week. There'll be a new set that will drop tomorrow or Wednesday for Wednesday's stream where you'll get to vote again as well. It's a lot of fun. We go through it every week. Please stick around. Please vote. Even if you don't know the teams fully, we'll talk about them and you can vote. With that, let's go ahead and dive in. I have them kind of on screen. I understand it's kind of small. I'll do my best to make it a little bit bigger here. Let me hide this other window capture here. Let's get this a little bit bigger. All right. So, Stormy, I know you don't know all these teams. That's okay. We're going to do best with what we got. Stick around, kind of give us your opinions on it. So, the first fight that we have on here is Team Natsu. And again, we're going to give our opinions on the matchups, and then you guys are going to vote to determine who wins on YouTube. There's a poll that will pull up, and you'll have that opportunity to vote. But we're going to talk about the matchup first, give it a little bit of time. We'll be doing this for the next 30 minutes or so, talking about these 4 matchups. Maybe end a little bit earlier, depending on how these conversations go. But the first matchup was actually one of the harder matchups that I feel like we've gotten to in general, to be honest with you. Now, this matchup, I'll admit, I have not watched Fairy Tail, but anime reputations are pretty powerful, and very generally, anime teams have a little bit of a strength advantage going into fights like this. So, what were your thoughts? You may have not gotten a chance to vote. That's fine. Do you know Fairy Tail's team, Team Natsu, or no?
I do not.
So, Team Natsu is a pretty strong team. Natsu has basically powers of a dragon, and has very intense fire abilities. He has a lightning fire dragon mode. He has black fire dragon mode. Dragon Force, not the band. He has like super enhanced strength, speed, durability, master hand-to-hand combat. We have Lucy, who has intense spirit magic. We have like, they're basically all very powerful magic users. Very strong speed feats. Ducky Momo says the battle bracket is a weekly opportunity to underestimate the Mario Bros. Ghostbusters for sure. Hopefully you learn a little bit about each team every week. It's a lot of fun. But they're all very powerful magic users. Guess who else is a powerful magic users? The Harry Potter team. Because, I mean, we got in the Harry Potter and the New Order of the Phoenix, we got Dumbledore. We got Harry Potter himself. We got the Weasleys. We got Hermione. We got Ron Weasley. We got Minerva McGonagall. We got who else? We got Alistair Moody. We got a bunch of different, like a lot of wizards, right? Going up against a very powerful team of anime mages.
I mean,
what are your thoughts here?
All right, I'm going full New Order of the Phoenix. Like, we have like Dumbledore in there, Minerva, like Harry Potter and Hagrid. Look, there's a pretty big theory out there that Hagrid is the strongest sorcerer of them all.
Right.
That's why
I know that theory. Yeah.
That's why he was like that. He wasn't allowed to be at the school anymore, because his power set would have just like become massive. Now,
right.
If this team has freaking Harry Potter, who defeated Voldemort, Lord Voldemort, so like, in my opinion, Hagrid, Dumbledore, and Harry Potter on their own would already like demolish that other team. Plus, with that, you already have these like all these other sorcerers in there. So yeah, no, I don't think Team Natsu, or what the hell they are called, to stand any chance.
So in fairness, Ducky Momo, who has read the manga, he said Warrior Mages versus school kids, no contest. Now there are school adults. Let's not forget school adults. Now, in fairness, as you guys have known in the past, I have collected a bunch of different YouTube videos that are little compilations of these characters. So if we ever run into a discussion like this, we can actually pull up some quick videos and in these very tough fights, actually get some context to these guys' powers, especially when they're powers of characters that teams that are lesser known. It's a great opportunity to figure out a little bit more about them. So as soon as I can find, I know I have one for Natsu, Natsu's team, as well as I believe I have one for the Harry Potter team as well. So let me just go pull this up as soon as I can find it. I know I have it. I know it's there, guys. I know it's there. I know it's there. Bear with me. Where are you? But I actually think, okay, here, I do have it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this video up. I had brought it to a specific moment, and I believe it's this window capture. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Drop it in front of that one. Oh, drop it in front of that one. We have a video here that is hopefully going to contextualize their power set. And then I'll pull up one for Harry Potter in fairness as well, so we can kind of see a little bit of how their powers match up. I did not size this on the screen very well, but oh, there we go. So let's pull this up. We're going to watch it, a little bit of it, and get some context for this fight. So this is just Natsu, the main character. There are other characters on his team of comparable power, from what I'm aware, but they have some pretty strong powers. Now, I would like to note the existence of Avada Kedavra is problematic for really anything, right? But the question is, their spells kind of have to hit their targets. Could speed feats let them defeat these guys before they would even be able to get a spell out? Right? I mean, look how he closed that gap. He clearly has a level of speed that would be tough to deal with. So I don't know.
But it's color, you know? Like, Harry, no, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Oh, there was another. This is really what I wanted to show right here.
I just feel like that making anime characters going up towards like live action characters is always like a very tricky one.
It's
because
tough.
like it's like, look, everything.
There's difficulty in converting it.
Powers just look much stronger in anime animation just because it's like those.
That's true. That's important.
How do you have to say it? Like, if they would ever make a anime about like the Marvel characters, you would think like the anime version of Thor will be much stronger because with the animation they can do much more with that.
Right, and it's a matter of what feats though you exude, right? Like Captain Marvel, I mean, she has pretty powerful feats. I don't know that she has planetary feats, but like then you take an example of a live action character that is super powerful is like Smallville Superman. Smallville Superman does like planetary feats or even past planetary feats, right? So like almost like galactic level feats. We have examples of live action things. Godzilla in one of the live action movies like destroys black holes in one of the live action movies. And so like it can be done. You mean? No, live action for Godzilla.
Really?
So like it was an older movie and it was probably a very poorly made one. But
can it be that it was Godzilla versus Space Godzilla?
It might have been. I haven't watched it, admittedly. I just was looking up the other... it was one of my anger researches about the Luke Skywalker fight, and so I was looking into it, and then I needed to prove to myself that there was an iteration of Godzilla that was just as strong as the Legends Luke, and I found it very easily.
Dude, every version of Godzilla would be...
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, Trinity makes a really good point that most of these characters all have average size feats. Just like Trinity. Ducky Boba says, as a fan of both, it's not going to be close, but I'm not going to debate it if no one else knows the context. Listen, I agree with you, Ducky. I think Team Natsu wins. From everyone that's explained to me Natsu's power level and comparison to like a Naruto, who I know very definitively his feats. Based on what have been described to me, I know he's not as powerful as Naruto, but he's still pretty powerful. I think you're right in terms that, like, we could see that here's the difference. You can destroy a mountain in live action. You can do it. It can be done. CGI exists and even existed when Harry Potter was made, a decade ago. Maybe it was longer. I'm scared to check exactly how long ago it was because that would make me feel too old. But like there were feats. You had the ability to do those types of things in live action. We saw Silver Surfer destroy Galactus, who was going to destroy a planet. So we could see those feats in live action. It's more expensive, but we still see them. And so ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to decide how realistic it is. You still have to use those feats, right? Obviously, we have. You're right that they are more financially burdened to make those things happen. But ultimately, that's part of the fun is to see how that kind of goes. Did you say you feel old? Sorry, Mike. So you know what? Like, I think there's a lot of people that might vote Harry Potter, and I'm not going to disagree. I think you're valid. I think there's some valid arguments that can be made that if they were put to that challenge with the numbers they have, they may be able to stick it out. I personally think it's Team Natsu all the way. But go ahead and put your vote in. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to open the poll. I'm going to do it. Let's see what happens. We're going to let the cards fall where they may. Let's see what you guys got. Go ahead and vote in the poll. The poll should be open now. Go ahead and vote who you think would win this fight. Team Natsu or Team New Order of the Phoenix from Harry Potter. Keep in mind, your votes will be added together with the votes from earlier today. There were 8 people that voted earlier today. which means that your vote does matter today if you want to stand a chance in having an impact on which team ends up winning. Story, make sure you're in there, man. Submit your vote.
I guess so. Guys, remember again, the New Order of the Phoenix consists of Harry Potter.
It does.
Dumbledore, Hagrid, Minerva, who are some of like the most powerful sorcerers of that universe.
Yeah, it's like, but my question is like, what is the strongest feat that we have seen one of those characters do? What's the strongest on-movie feat we've seen? Like, they can do away with fire. They can do away with certain things. I don't know. Ultimately, they could probably speed hack themselves.
Probably.
But I don't think they can keep up with brute strength. It's like saying, like, could you take away Superman's strength?
But here's the thing, Burke. Here's the thing with like trying to speed like yourself out. Like, you can have the same thing happens that happened to another like major speedster in one universe where he didn't see it coming.
Listen, that was bad writing. I don't care. You have a speedster. You don't do that to a speedster. Of all the ways you kill a speedster, that is not the way you kill a speedster.
You go from I didn't see that coming to a boner. So I don't even know which one of the two is better at it.
Yeah, for real. Guys, I'm going to give you until 43 to vote. Make sure you vote, and then I'm going to close the poll. Make sure you vote. Yeah, I personally, if you have quickened speed, you see time slower. That's just how it works. Or else you couldn't move in fast speed. And so, like, Quicksilver should not have died to a bullet. Not to mention the fact that a bullet should technically hit him slower if he's a speedster. If that makes sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense how it worked. But you know what? We'll see. I think Team Natsu wins, but I could see an argument for New Order of the Phoenix if they can hit some Avada Kedavras off. I'm under the assumption that if push came to shove, they would be inclined to use powers like that. So I'm not really going to make the argument of like it's a forbidden spell. They wouldn't do that. Like, I kind of put that to the side for these types of arguments. But we'll see. Ultimately, the poll is closed with 4 votes for Team Natsu, 2 votes for New Order of Phoenix. We'll see how that stacks up with the votes from earlier. And let's move on to the next round. So the next matchup of the 4 matchups, match 2, is the Black Bull Squad from Black Clover. We have a lot of the anime teams coming up this week. So hopefully we got some anime nerds in the chat here today. We'll see. If you don't, that's okay. Black Bull Squad is from Black Clover. It's a more recent anime that's been out earlier seasons. It's still in the earlier seasons still. A lot of people are saying it could be one of the best animes ever soon. They have a lot of interesting characters. All are also magic users. This anime is very central around magic. We're talking each of them has a different specific type of magic expertise. We have one that uses dark magic, one uses shadow magic. One is able to generate and manipulate cotton. One has anti-magic that is all centered around countering and reducing magic. One has lightning magic. One has mirror magic that reflects objects, light, energy beams, can copy anything. We have water magic. We have recombination magic. I don't really know exactly what that means in its entirety. Ash magic, arcane magic, sealing magic, spatial magic, poison magic, fire magic. They cover all of the different realms, which really does make them a very versatile group because they have magic that encompasses everything you really could need. Again, I could say I'm not an expert in this team. I didn't like Black Clover in the beginning. I've heard the dub is better. I watched the sub. It was really whiny. The main character wouldn't stop crying, and so I couldn't keep through it. I've heard it got better. I heard the dub is less whiny, so maybe I'll give it a shot. But it's a pretty powerful team from what I have heard. It hurts me to ever vote against Deadpool, but his team is dead meat. Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of magic users. I mean, say what you will, even weak magic users, magic is just OP in general, right? The cat controls fate, Daniel is saying. So I'm assuming Daniel has either watched or is aware of Black Clover and knows Blackpool Squad, could say the cat on their team controls fate. That's pretty OP. I can't contextualize that, but obviously that's a stand thing. Now X-Force also has a lot going for it though. X-Force has Deadpool.
No, they don't.
Well,
They're trying to say
let's make their argument.
No, but wait, look. This X-Force is a joke. Like, look, I would consider if this would be the X-Force from the comics, yeah, there would be a pretty big chance that they would win from the other team. The X-Force in the Deadpool 2 movie is just a big joke.
Listen, I gave X-Force everything.
But I know that they tried to make it comic relief, and I know that's the thing with Deadpool movies. But like, why couldn't they just have named
They pulled the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I know, but like, oh my god,
they did it first. They did it first, man.
You make the X-Force their like big screen debut, and you like just have
so funny though.
Deal is look, the best character in that team is Peter. Like with it, he has both type 1 and 2 diabetes, so those were his powers.
Oh my god, dude, that was so funny. That was such a good movie.
But, yeah, no, the other team is winning.
Yeah, I like Magic. Bring back Anna Taylor-Joy. She's in this bracket, man.
Sure.
She's in the bracket.
For sure.
So X-Force, I would like to say, though, I gave them everything. They have Cable on their team. They have Colossus. They have Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio. So they do have all of them on their team. But you're right. I still don't think they stand a chance. I think you all know a lot of their powers. But regardless of Deadpool's regeneration, regardless of Colossus' durability, regardless of Domino's luck, I don't think it results in them beating this team. I think it might result in some of them surviving this team, but I don't think it results in them beating this team. And I think ultimately that's what matters, right? I don't think it goes well for them. I don't think this is one of those matchups we need to linger on. I'm going to go ahead and open the poll for Blackpool Squad versus the X-Force. So go ahead and vote. Poll is open, and I would like to say, if you feel like it's pretty anime team heavy right now in the winners, that's not really that true, because we have the X-Men Dark Phoenix are moving on, Z-Fighter, oh yeah, that's Dragon Ball.
What?
Justice League are
moving on?
The X-Men from Dark Phoenix, that team is moving on. We have the Justice League from Zack Snyder's Justice League is currently in round 4. Team Tennyson from Ben 10 is in here.
I haven't been in these. I know I haven't been in these streams lately, but like, people are voting for the X-Men Dark Phoenix team.
Well, remember, it's not a popularity contest; it's who would win in a fight, and they were going up against the Umbrella Academy, and I just don't think that they have. The Umbrella Academy's good, but I don't think they could beat Quicksilver, Phoenix Force. I don't think they could beat Phoenix Force.
You have Vanya on that team. Who could like one?
I know she could destroy the moon, dude. That's true. Dude, I don't know, man. But they're like physically vulnerable. I feel like they're physically vulnerable.
Yeah. So
listen, you got to be there, man. You got to be there voting.
Yeah, bro. I have to work night shifts. Okay.
Pull up your phone at work, man. Just no one will know. I'm going to close the poll at 49. We also have Avengers, and we have the Fantastic Four live action in there as well. So there's a lot of live action teams still in there. Some animated teams, animated series, not anime, that are still in here as well. So we got some good rounds here. So ultimately, let's go ahead and close the poll. Let's see what we got here. How do I close it? Okay. We got 4 votes for the Blackpool Squad, 1 vote for X-Force. We'll see how that stacks up with the votes from earlier. The next matchup we have is Team 7 from Naruto versus Team Ash. I am sorry. I know you're a Pokemon fan. And the Pokemon are strong. Don't get me wrong. Pokemon are strong. Team 7 is one of the sleeper picks to win the entire bracket.
I know, but I'm going to try and get people's attention on Team Ash. Look,
make it
Team Ash, and like who's in Team Ash again?
So Team Ash is the I think the only Pokemon that's on here that shouldn't be is I'm blanking on his name.
Infernape.
Infernape is instead Snorlax.
Oh yeah, okay, Snorlax. Okay, yeah. I was thinking like Snorlax isn't in this. No, okay, so I'm going to start. Sceptile is just like one of Ash's strongest Pokemon. He is one of Ash's Pokemon who had the most wins in the series, just behind Gudra. Like, losing to Windstreak, he's like Ash's best Pokemon. Then you have Charizard, who, after going to the Charizard school, I'll call it that way in the anime, became like the strongest Charizard to ever like be in that universe. You have Crocodile, who's just like a very strong dark type user. Dark moves type uses dark types are one of the strongest Pokemon in the Pokemon universe, just because, like, I mean, their whole history is like with like dark energy and things like that, but we're not going to get into that. Then you have Snorlax. Look, Snorlax would just go sit on one of these Naruto characters and they would be dead. Like,
how big is
Snorlax?
Snorlax?
I don't know. Snorlax is like, what do you mean with how big is Snorlax? Like,
yeah, like height-wise.
Height-wise, I think Snorlax is like, if he would be in real life, I think Snorlax would be like 3 to 4 or 5 meters in length. And I think he would weigh well over 2 tons. So yeah.
It says he's 6'11". That's definitely not true.
What? Like, yeah, he would definitely be 3 meters. Like, watch him stand behind the person in the Pokemon universe. Like, I mean, maybe 4 or 5 meters was probably a little too much, but 3 meters, definitely.
Yeah, he's got to be bigger than that, right?
Standing up.
Yeah.
Because he's always sitting.
Okay, so let's grant him that, right? Let's grant him that height. I'm gonna make an argument here. So you got your Pokemon, right?
Can I just finish?
Continue. Yeah, continue yours.
All right. Yeah. Then you have Ash, who has like a level 1000 Pikachu, a Pikachu that has trained for so many times that it's like, this is like apparently like the only Pikachu who ever like set foot in like a tournament, because like, why would you pick a Pikachu to be in a tournament and then you like train him to such a high level where he's like one of the strongest of them all? Plus, here's the latest character. I know Infernape isn't in this team. Infernape is also like a cool and a strong character of Team Ash.
Right.
But you have Greninja in there. Look, Greninja is the only Pokemon who can turn into his Mega form without a Mega Bracelet and a Mega Stone. He's the only Pokemon to be able to do this feat. And it's because Ash has a psychiatric bond with Greninja. That way, Ash and Greninja bond, and like they become Ash Greninja. And Ash Greninja is very, very, very powerful. So, look, guys watching the stream right now, I would just like consider voting for Team Ash, because like, look, if these Pokemon existed in the Naruto universe, I think they would stand a chance.
So, real quick, Mr. Otter made a really funny comment and said that level 1000 Pikachu gets his butt whooped by a level 5 starter every new season. No, I mean, yeah. But okay, so let's take your argument, right? We have one dude with 6 monsters that he has control over, right?
Pokemon.
Some very strong, very, very strong monsters, okay?
Pokemon.
Right, Pokemon. Naruto also. Their team has what they call summons, okay? So let's just put the team aside and just pull their summons out. Let's list some of their summons, shall we? Kakashi, their sensei, he can summon a bunch of different dogs that can sense out, right? Okay, not great, whatever. What? Pretty minor. He can summon a bunch of dogs that can sniff out enemies, whatever. Still, ultimately, not very useful. So let's dismiss his. We didn't even add the other teammates. There's actually 3 other teammates that are on the team, but they're not listed here. I'll adjust it. I've been saying it since round 1, and I have it listed, but whatever.
Luke, in all seriousness, I know.
No, I know. I just want to say this because it's really
like,
funny. But Sakura, she has a summon. She can actually summon. This is the wrong picture. I actually have it because the last match we had it updated. Sakura can summon. Yeah, they have standing level jumps. Yeah, they can summon a slug that's about 450 feet tall. So what is that in meters? Like 150 meters? 150 meters tall slug that can heal anyone that like rapidly. It just latches to people, heals it. It can also fight. Sasuke has Sai can paint things and it turns into monsters that fight. Sasuke can summon a 300-foot plus tall suit of armor that could shoot arrows, and Naruto can summon a bunch of frogs of varying sizes, anywhere between like 40 feet to like 100 feet tall frogs. One of which, the largest of which, is like a 100-foot tall samurai frog with a katana, and then he can also summon a 600-foot tall plus large fox beast that can shoot beast bombs that like level entire cities. They're like insane. I just think it's funny. I think the Pokemon are strong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you see some of the feats that Pikachu completes, and like the legendary Pokemon that Ash and his team contest with. Like, they do some very strong things. I don't think that there's any debate that Team Ash is formidable.
There's a theory out there that like everything that happens in the Pokemon anime
is a dream.
After the first episode is a dream because freaking Pikachu made Ash like in a
he went into a coma, right?
And that everything is a coma dream. So
the poll is open, by the way, guys. Make sure you vote.
That one vote for Team Ash is for me.
And listen, I think it's valid, and you could also but here's something worth noting. I think a lot of people could be like, oh well, there's plot armor, right? Like plot armor makes them win.
Actually,
Team Ash win.
Looking at this now,
everybody has a team plot armor.
Looking at this team now, I don't know why I didn't tell you why you should have swapped out like Crocodile with Infernape, because like Infernape being in that team would have actually made that team even stronger.
I mean, if you want to vote in the idea that Infernape's on the team too, that's fine. I mean, that's just like talking about their summons, right? Like Naruto has like light speed feats. Like Sasuke can like put people in a genjutsu, which makes them like in a trance just with like looking at them. He can like basically teleport. They got like some crazy feats, man.
Also, it's just like Pokemon is like one of these franchises that
It's so good. It's so good. It's such a great franchise.
Pokemon. Look, I told this on multiple occasions in streams like this, but like Pokemon was one of these franchises that like got me through rough times. Like Pokemon, The Walking Dead, Marvel, the MCU. Like Pokemon is one of those things that I just love so much that I just want them to win right now. Yeah. And like I still play Pokemon Go and all these games.
Dude, I'm totally with you there. And that's what I always say is like it gets really hard when you're talking about like properties that you love in these brackets, that it's like hard to separate your want for them to win versus the like will they actually win. I've talked to you guys multiple times about that because I have like a lot of teams that I'm like, man, I really like these teams. I really want them to win. In my head, I'm like,
no, but
they don't do it.
I still firmly believe that Team Ash stands a chance.
I think, Daniel Fisher said, Team 7 will not leave unscathed from this fight. Mr. Otter made a good point. Ash in a coma definitely isn't winning then. That's so funny. Pocket puss. Yeah, I'm gonna close the poll in a minute to make sure you vote.
Again, like, I wanted to say something, but I totally forgot.
That's all right. If you think about it,
we can. Like just like while Ash has never won like a major league, like Ash's Pokemon always do the best, like in the tournaments. Like they always have the best winning to losing streak. So, I mean, yeah.
And dude, honestly, I love that. I actually think they'll go pretty far in the losers bracket, even if they don't make it. But we'll see. 3 votes for Team 7 and 2 votes for Team Ash. We are in our last matchup. Our last matchup of the night is the first without an anime team from the night. We have Toa Nuva from Bionicles going up against the Teen Titans. Listen, guys, I've told you this before. Hey, Trinity, all good, man? Gotta get up out of this place.
I know your love for Ninjago. I know your love for Ninjago, but like...
This is Bionicles, not Ninjago. Ninjago's the other team they lost.
Oh, okay. I thought this was Ninjago.
Now, let me school y'all real quick. Hold up, because I know where you're about to go here with Teen Titans winning. I'm about to school y'all real quick, okay? We have 2 things to address. Bionicles, the movie, it's not like people are going to make their toys, right? Bionicle the movie is not like the Lego movies, where the Lego movies say they are toys in a toy universe made of Legos, right? So we have that argument that like the Lego creatures, right? They're like, oh, at the end of the day, they're still Legos. And so we always have that argument, and we decide, are you going to treat them like Legos? Are you going to treat them like animated versions of human characters with Lego physicality, or whatever you do? Definitely, like, this is a different situation. The Bionicles movie separates it from the toys in that the Bionicles are specifically noted as biomechanical beings. So they are specifically like almost like cyborgs, or not even cyborgs, androids, right? Like more android. They're a biomechanical being. These characters, I have no like stake in this game. Like, but Bionicles have, each of them are basically like, they have mastery of a different element. Tahu, mastery of fire. Kopaka, mastery of ice. Master of water. We have like, one can create massive ice beams. One can create tsunamis. One can create massive flame structures. One can create tornadoes. One can create, can control soil. One can control light. And like has literally, but here's what matters the most. This is the most important matter. One of them has life control and can evolve and devolve creatures at will. So imagine, I could just be like, oh, Robin, you're 2 years old now. I decided you're 2 years old. I decided you're now a fetus.
But like, here's the thing. I'm going to go get in with my side of the things. Look, this team is not standing a chance against the Teen Titans for one reason. You have the character of Raven on your team, who is the literal daughter of the DC Universe's like version of the devil in Trigon. Then you have Starfire on there, who is one of the strongest like alien type characters in that universe. You have Beast Boy, who can turn into every animal. You have Cyborg. Look, I don't even, after watching the Snyder Cut, I don't even have to mention what Cyborg can do. I know, yes, you have like Robin, who's just a normal guy, but like you don't need all those other characters because you like only have like Raven, like just like solely like defeating the other team. So it really doesn't matter. Teen Titans is taking this.
They can okay, one has light speed movement. The other one can just de-age you and literally like has the ability to give that power to every other member of the team. So it could literally just be like, I'm going to give everybody the power to devolve you. And so even if you kill me, it's too late. All of them have my power. They're all going to nerf you they're going to nerf you all the way down to freaking fetus status. And even if, and Cyborg, somebody mentioned, Ducky Momo said, can Cyborg control them? He could theoretically. However, they also, every one of them wields a weapon that allows them to control anything mechanical, so they could also control Cyborg. So they would all just be like doing the Spider-Man meme, looking at each other, pointing at each other, while the one just made every other living organism in the building fetuses. And the other one with light speed movement is picking up all the fetuses and yeeting them across the galaxy.
But just remember that Raven is one of the strongest characters in the DC universe. So
that's true, but I don't know that the Teen Titans gives her the feats that we need to. I think Raven and Star, like, they're all giving a run. I definitely think it's a hard fight, but the Toa Nuva are like ridiculously overpowered for like no reason. Like, they're just so powerful, it's ridiculous. Captain Log says Toa not to be slept on. Also, Mr. Otter called me out for saying Robin was, yes, Burke, Robin was the biggest threat that needed to be TH'd. Yeah, first thing, you go for Robin first, obviously, in any fight. Take out the leadership.
Talking about Robin, if you haven't like checked out Titan season 3, I would definitely like tell you to do so, because man, they really did something great with this third season.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I honestly think it's a floor wipe with the Toa Nuva to Teen Titans, but like man, the Teen Titans is my childhood, so it's hard to see them go because that's like one of my favorite animated series show of all time.
Dude, Teen Titans is like up there.
Yeah, but man, the Toa Nuva just floor wipe. I've been saying this to you guys since the beginning. I don't have this high on my bracket. I don't have them in my predictions going far, Toa Nuva, because I don't feel like a lot of people know them well enough to put them far. But I think the Toa Nuva could argue could win the game.
If I have to make like a top 3 of like cartoons that I watched the most and loved the most back in the day, I would have to go like Teen Titans on 3, Avatar on 2, and like Pokemon on number 1. So Teen Titans is definitely up there with my ranking on those shows.
Yeah, for sure. Also, Ducky Momo said, "Can Cyber control him?" So here's the thing: I don't think he could because I don't see his feats in that show. I don't feel like he has it to the extent he does in the Justice League of Zack Snyder's or in like the animated Justice League. I don't think he has that power level. But even if he could control, they're biomechanical, so they're not like connected to an internet or anything as much as they're like metallic bodies being operated by. Does that make sense? Like it's not like a internet that they're connected to or anything like that. So I don't know. Even if they could, though, Toa Nuva can also control him in the same way because they have weapons that can do that. Ultimately, they also have extreme strength, speed, and durability. So even without their elemental controls, they're a formidable force. I think the Toa Nuva win, but ultimately, it's your decision. The poll is up. Go ahead and submit your votes for Toa Nuva or the Teen Titans. We're going to close this poll at 8:09, and then we're going to call the stream. So while we're voting, I do want to say, Stormy, thank you so much for being on here, man. I really appreciate. Oh, yeah, we're also going to go through the positions as well when we get to it. But
I really had a great time today.
Yeah, it's been fun, dude. And we're only a few hours away from hearing what people think about this movie, dude. I'm excited to see how people think about Shang-Chi. I am also getting nervous. Yeah, I'm also super getting nervous. We got 3 votes for Toa Nuva, 1 vote for Teen Titans, man. Keep voting.
Dude, is the Toa Nuva really winning? Oh my god.
Dude, they could win the whole bracket because even like Dr. Manhattan, they could literally say, "I'm going to devolve you to before you had your powers." Isn't that crazy?
But Dr. Manhattan would probably have the power to
stop that as well.
So that probably wouldn't happen.
Exactly. So that's the tough part, right? When you talk about those types of feats.
And I think Raven has the feats to also do that. So, but yeah, the chat has decided Toa Nuva's winning.
I think Teen Titans, as much as I love it, they kind of dumbed down the powers of the characters.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think like that's probably the reason a lot of people are voting for Toa Nuva as well, is because like, yes, comic book versions of these characters, I think it's a lot closer.
That's why I can't wait. And as much as I love the Titans show, like Titans season 1 and 2, in my opinion, were okay. You can see that this 3rd season with them being like picked over with like HBO Max,
right?
They really that season has become like much better and like better looking. But still, like I know these characters, there will be these characters won't be able to like come to their full potential just because it's a TV show. So I just can't wait till DC and Warner Bros. Get their shit together and make a freaking Teen Titans movie.
Dude, please!
Because that's what we all want.
That's what we all want.
We all want Starfire and Raven to become like one of the 2 of the most like powerful characters in that universe.
That is what we all want. That's so true. Yep. We got it was 5-1 favor of Toa Nuva. We're gonna go and announce the final results. So yeah, stick around. We're gonna go ahead and go talk through this real quick, and then we're gonna call it out for today. So the first matchup of the night, we had again the Team Natsu from Fairy Tail going up against the New Order of the Phoenix. Now tonight, your votes were 4-2 in favor of Team Natsu. Now going into tonight, Team Natsu was also leading 5-3. So with a score of, I gotta draw this over so I don't have to always scroll. With a score of 9-5, the New Order of the Phoenix is out, and Team Natsu is moving on to the next round. New Order of the Phoenix will obviously be in the losers round bracket, so we'll be able to see them. Aquafina is pretty cool, MCU, and I do agree that I hope it's the best MCU movie ever. I really hope it is. So we'll go see who's going up against Team Natsu in round 4. Blackpool Squad going against X-Force. Going into tonight, the Blackpool Squad was winning with 6-2. 4-1 tonight, bringing the score from 10-3 with Blackpool Squad going on to face Team Natsu in round 4. Then we had Team 7 versus Team Ash going into tonight. It was a 7-1 lead for Team 7. With 3-2, it was unrecoverable tonight. Unfortunately, Team Ash will be in the losers bracket with 12-3 in favor of Team 7 from Naruto for the next round. The last of tonight, we had Toa Nuva going up against Teen Titans. Now, actually, going into tonight, the Teen Titans were winning by 1 vote, which means it was a good chance that the Teen Titans would not have made it, or the Teen Titans would have made it had it not been for tonight. And your guys' vote switched the results here. Toa Nuva ended up with 5-1 going on the votes tonight. Ended up winning 8-6, but it was pretty close. So ultimately, Toa Nuva will be going on to face Naruto's team. That's gonna be a tough fight, dude. That's gonna be a really tough one to talk about. Next week on Wednesday. Sorry. Make sure you join the Discord. Mike, can you share the link again for the Discord for anyone that may have not joined? On tomorrow, I'll be dropping these matchups. The Justice League will be going up. The Animated Justice League tomorrow will be going up against the Pillars from Demon Slayer. The Beta Boys from my own in-house Bergtastic 4 series will be going up against UA Class 1A from My Hero Academia. The Straw Hats from One Piece will be going up against the Doom Patrol from the 2020 HBO Max series. And the Watchmen will be 2009 Watchmen will be going up against the 7 Deadly Sins. Those are the next 4 that we'll be doing tomorrow, and Wednesday we'll be voting live on stream for them after the Bergtastic 4 episode. So make sure you guys are in the Discord or following me on Twitter at BerkTheNerd to be able to vote in those streams twice, once before the stream and once during the stream. So make sure you do that. Now, the final and last thing that you guys all want to see is how we're doing in the predictions. So let me go ahead and pull up those predictions for you, and we'll see how people are doing now that these have been filled out. Now, I've been doing pretty well in the predictions. I'm pretty happy with my results.
Man, I think I'm like one of the last places, man.
I'll tell you, man. Me and Mr. Otter have been holding down second and first, I think. So we've been doing pretty well.
That's the thing with Mr. Otter. Like, he's always like winning with these things.
So. He is always winning. I think he cheats. It's probably he cheats. He goes and changes his results or something. Why am I having issues? Let's go ahead and see if I can pull up.
Isn't that kind of obvious for a guy who calls himself Mr. Otter?
Like... I know. That's just the sound of a cheater. I agree.
Yeah.
That's definitely cheating. All right, here we go. So let's go ahead and pull up these predictions. Here we have them. As soon as I can... There we go. I'm competent somewhat. Okay. Let's do this. So I'll scroll down to the bottom here. Here you can see. Let me get rid of the end here, so you can see it better. Make it a little bit bigger. All right. I'll go through this quickly. In 29th place, we got Hee. Obviously, some people didn't finish their full bracket, so that's okay. That's why they're down at the bottom. We'll skip to the first full bracket. I think we have. We Believe in the Dom, 27th place with 34 points. One on Oswald, 26th place with 49 points. Galaxy Man, 25th place with 75 points. Dibble Dip at 24th with 76 points. Now, you guys, if you don't know what this is, you guys filled out predictions prior to the start of this bracket. We've been seeing how you guys are doing in your predictions. So if you're wondering what this is, that's what this is. If you've missed out on this one, that's okay. We'll be doing one at the end of this stream. We'll start a new battle bracket, and you'll have a chance to enter again. The winner of this prediction, as long as it's the winner of this prediction, or if I win the second place, will be winning in a $100 collectible Infinity Gauntlet or Iron Man Infinity Gauntlet, whichever one you choose. And second place will be winning an Infinity Gauntlet mug. A third place will win an Infinity Gauntlet keychain. We got 23rd and 22nd and 21st are all untitled, 81, 85, and 97 points. Mike the Avenger, 20th place with 101 points. A tied in 19th place with 101 points. Mike Porter and Mike Porter 2.0. Mike Porter obviously had to resubmit his because he didn't finish it the first time, so this one doesn't count. Mike Porter 2.0 is 17th place with 112. Wu-Tang Wells in 16th place with 118. Stormy Yar 15th place with 121. You got a lot of point potential still, so you can still get 642. Remember, it compounds.
No, the problem with me like not being higher up is because like I think in the middle of the bracket I just lost track and I just didn't vote. So
no, I think you filled them all out. Yeah, you filled
really?
all the matchups out. Because 252 would have been
cool.
cool.
Because I was working.
But what's also important is at the end, the matchups, the matches are worth more points in the later rounds. So the more accurate you are in the end is what matters more. So a lot of people are behind now because the later matchups is when they're going to shine. The later matchups are the deal breaker, like who you have in the final four, that stuff. We'll have to see.
As long as I can get that bottle opener, I would be happy.
Yeah, right. Ducky Momo is in 14th place with 124. Callisto in 13th with 126. Krieg Logic 12th with 130. Not totally feeling this, but I hope I'm right. Tyler the Kid in 11th with 139. I think this is Fanjecture in 10th with 139. Boulder Doobies in 9th with 141. Captain Groville in 8th with 143. Timmy in 7th with 143. Hunter in 6th with 150. Mako in 5th with 151. Dan on tap in 4th with 152. Anime Go Burr snaps in 3rd place with 164. And then, am I still there? Yes, I held it. 2nd place, Little Oddie, aka Mr. Otter Movies, in 2nd place with 167. And Burke the Nerd in 1st with 169.
Yo, but Burke,
I'm going to lose it. I know I'm going to lose.
Burke, can I ask you one question? If you were to win, what are you going to do? Are you just going to give yourself the
No. That's what I've been saying. Is if I win the next, I just play because I have fun. If I win, the person below me gets first. So that's just how that'll go. So if I win, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th will win the prizes. So yeah, I don't have any desire in. I mean, I would be great to have a gauntlet up, but no, I don't want to. I'm just playing for fun. I also don't think I'm gonna win. I have a feeling that that the later matchups are really gonna screw me over because I don't think the anime teams are going to win in the end. I think that there's going to be other teams like the Justice League and the Watchmen that are going to beat out those teams. That's my prediction, and that's going to really screw me over in the late game. So we'll see. At the end of the day, I don't know. But anyway, that is it for today. So guys, thank you so much for being a part of this stream. Let's wait and find out what's going to happen with Shang-Chi, and let's wait and find out what's going to happen with the Battle Bracket. We have a lot going on. On Wednesday, 1 p.m., we are going to be doing our Marvel What If Episode 2 spoiler discussion over here on YouTube. And then 6 o'clock that same day, we're going to be doing Burktastic 4 over on Twitch. So make sure you guys are staying tuned for all of that. Follow me over on twitch.tv/BurkTheNerd for that, for more content there. Follow me, subscribe here if you haven't already for more Marvel, DC, Star Wars, movie content, TV, anime content, video game content, all that stuff. Follow me here. Also follow me at Twitter @BurkTheNerd and go join my Discord. If you type in linktree./BurkTheNerd on here, or you follow the link that I will probably eventually put in the description here. I should probably start doing that better. You can find me. Go to nerdholla.net and join Nerdholla, our community of all of our different community content creators. Stormy is one of those. Go ahead and also subscribe to Everyday Geeks over here on YouTube for podcasts, which I believe will be kicking off soon. Hopefully, we'll get to see more of those pretty soon. Please tell us about it. Yes, please.
All right. So, I know the Everyday Geeks has been offline for 2 months, and I had this plan of starting a new channel, blah, blah, blah. I have postponed that plan. I'm going to wait a little longer. But in the meantime, me and Timmy, and of course, Burke and Landon are open to take part in it. We want to restart the EG podcast, and we just want to do one podcast a week on Everyday Geeks.
Cool.
We have chosen just to make that channel solely a podcast channel. So one podcast a week from Everyday Geeks is what you can expect, starting in 2 weeks.
Sweet. So subscribe over there to Everyday Geeks. Join their Discord. Again, all of those links, both of our Discord links, our YouTube channels, our Twitches. Everything is available on the Linktree, Nerdholla Linktree, or nerdholla.net on any web browser you can find it. So make sure you go sub to them, join their Discord, join our Discord, and have fun with all of this stuff that's going on in our community. Our community is pretty big. It's always growing. So again, thank you for being a part of the Nerdholla and the Burke the Nerd community. And I will see you real soon.